Robert Henry Lawrence Jr. was the first black astronaut living in America who had the tragedy of dying in a training exercise and never went into space. And so one of the projects that I focus on is figuring out a way to get Robert into space. And I made a body of work memorializing Robert's life. I was always interested in exploration, but I have a real passion and a personal connection to invisibility as someone who grew up on a tiny island in the Bahamas. Invisibility is just a core part of what I'm interested in, what I care about, what I'm passionate about. And his story struck me as something that was invisible that needed to come to the forefront. My creative practice is about filling gaps. So it's mostly about investigating. The work, the Encyclopedia of Invisibility, that is in Giardini, is a heavy reference to the Encyclopedia Britannica. It represents an amalgamation of ideas, thoughts, and concerns of people, places, and things that were not included into a zeitgeist or into a history. And this is exciting and interesting to me because so many people that I know and grew up with, and so many stories that I've learned about are not included in the zeitgeist in the conversation. So the question is, who decides, right? Who decides what's important, and who gets to create this thing that we call history? And this work is really a 6-year project where I spent digging through email, interviews, rare book libraries, phone call interviews, research, to find out things that were not included in the original Encyclopedia Britannica and making my collection of these things that were not included. And I call it the Encyclopedia of Invisibility. It's quite fascinating that this body of work is sitting in this exhibition. I think one of the greater quotes from the past couple of years was, I think the President of the United States Press Secretary mentioning this idea of alternative facts. So it's funny that the Encyclopedia of Invisibility is coexisting with this idea of alternative facts. And this question of who gets to create reality, right? Who decides what's important? Who negotiates for people who can't negotiate for themselves? So in terms of this being an interesting time, I think we're in a moment when the press is under attack. We're in a moment where scholarship is under attack. And I think it's important to think about all these people, places, and things that are more or less invisible.